guys, I'm Sean. I'm currently applying to dental school. I recently got a 23 academic average on the DAT, and today I'm going to be sharing exactly how I study for it, including resources, schedules, tips and tricks, and what I wish I did differently. If you're on the pre-dental journey too, definitely subscribe because I'll be covering everything from applications to prerequisites. Let's get into it before I get too distracted. So I personally use DAT Booster. I know a lot of friends that use DAT Bootcamp, but DAT Booster is marginally cheaper and it had everything I was looking for. So that's the one I picked. Feel free to choose either. Just make sure to get a discount code. They always are cycling through. I would just look them up or get one from your university's pre-dental club. So for my study schedule, I had unfortunate timing in that I had to start studying for my DAT at the end of fall, and I had to finish it by the start of winter. So that gave me about 4 weeks in between the finals and the start of the new quarter to get that DAT done, which is quite a time crunch, but it helped me really prioritize what I needed to get done. And that kind of goes into tip number 1 for DAT studying is be confident in what you know. So I initially was going through the DAT Booster study schedule, but I realized I already knew a lot of the topics that he was talking about through undergraduate classes or even previous knowledge. Some of this stuff goes even far back as high school. So I would just skip all those things. For instance, the algebra, the geometry, some of the reading comprehension that comes up, and just focus on the stuff you really need to focus on. For me specifically, that was PAT and Orgo. For me specifically, since I hadn't taken biology, chemistry, and organic chemistry in 2 years, I really needed to focus on those things. So for everybody, it might be a little different. Tip number 2 would be to not do what I did and schedule a DAT for the end of your sophomore year summer. So as you're about to go to your junior year, plan to take your DAT right before that if you have all those prerequisites done, chemistry, organic chemistry, and biology mainly, because that will make studying so much easier. Since I took it my senior year, I hadn't done a lot of the organic chemistry concepts in 2 years. So I really had to relearn it, and this would save you so much time and effort, and you'll probably get a better DAT score as well. So I think that's one area where I could have done better in that total science. Okay, so tip number 3 would be not to sweat the small stuff. Now, what do I mean by this? Not sweating the small stuff means not letting those tiny little details or problems that you get wrong get to you. There's gonna be a ton of things you get wrong in DAT prep. There's gonna be things you don't know. That's fine. Especially when you're doing stuff like PAT, or you're studying so many systems in biology, you're doing this one organic chemistry problem. Like, there will be things you get wrong on tests that you just can't control. And obviously, I'm saying study, put your 100% into getting a good comprehensive view of everything you have. But also, if you don't know how to do a rock keyhole problem come a week before the test, I wouldn't stress too much about it, because the most that can be is one problem on a test. Or vice versa, if there's like one nitty-gritty part of biology that you just can't seem to put a finger on, it likely may not show up on the test. Maybe it's one question. So what I'm saying is, think about the high yield over the low yield. I'm saying study both, but also don't stress about those small little things. Last tip number 4, that's gonna be the most obvious but most true tip, is practice, practice, practice. Now, everybody will tell you practice makes perfect, right? But it never applies more than it does for the DAT. Nobody really knows how to do something like the PAT on the first go. Literally learning the PAT is all about practice. So I would just spam the practice problems and practice tests. Make sure to finish those 10 practice tests they give you before your real test, and the test will feel so much easier. Especially the biggest thing on the test and practices is time, because time on the PAT is not your friend. And if you follow those tips and are comfortable with the practice tests, you should be very comfortable come the actual test, because it really is not too much different, just the testing environment. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll post more about dental school, random stuff, vlogs, gym, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Good luck on the DAT. You got this.